Hey guys, I hope you are doing good and I am back with the second video of the video series on class 7 maths integers, and in this video we are going to learn about properties of addition and subtraction in integers.
So now that we have learned about operations on integers, it is time to talk about properties of integers. Now integers also follow a lot of properties and we will see how these properties are going to help us. Now some of the properties that we will discuss for integers are closure property, commutative property, associative property, distributive property. And I am pretty sure that these names are no more new to you. You have learned about these properties for whole numbers in your previous class. So this time we will learn about the same properties but for integers. So let's start with closure property. So what is closure property? It talks about the fact what happens when we add integers. Do we always get integers, or sometimes we also get numbers which are not integers? So let us add and see. Randomly pick up any integer. Let's say -1 is an integer plus 15 is another integer. So this is 14. You add -3 to 61. What do you get? You get 58. You add 0 to -10. What do you get? You get -10. You add -10 to -3. What do you get? You again get -13. So in each of these, what do you see? Whether we take positive and negative integer, or we take positive or negative or 0 with some positive or negative integer, every time we get an integer. So every time the result is an integer. So this proves that integers are closed under addition. So when you add integers, you always get integers. Any two integers added will give you an integer. This is called closure property. Closure comes from the word closed. That means integers are closed. So integers, they have a house of their own where only the integers reside. So all the integers live inside this house, and as far as addition is concerned, integers remain closed within their house. That is, only integers will be involved in addition of integers. So for any two integers a and b, a plus b is always an integer. Now let us look at the same closure property for subtraction of integers. So let us try to subtract a few integers. So 1 minus 15, this gives -14. 0 minus -4, you get 4. 4 minus -3, what do you get? You get 7. 5 minus -5, you get 10. -15 minus -2, you get -13. -15 minus 3, you get -18. So here again I have taken a lot of different combinations. Somewhere I have taken both negative integers, somewhere one positive, one negative, somewhere one negative, one positive, and so on. And every time again we observed that the result is an integer. Is it so? So do you see that every time you get an integer? So what do we observe in each of these examples? We see that every time we subtract two integers, we get another integer. So that ways, can we say that integers are closed under subtraction? So whatever is written on the screen is definitely not correct. So integers are also closed under subtraction. So these are different from whole numbers. Now when you had learned about the same property for whole numbers, you had seen that whole numbers were not closed under subtraction. But integers, they are closed under subtraction. So if you have any two integers a and b, a minus b will always be an integer. So let us talk about the next property, that is commutative property. So what is commutative property? By now all of you know what is commutative property. Looking at the pictures, do you recall anything about commutative property? See here what we do, we just interchange the position of the integers. So let's take an example. So let's add two integers. So we take two integers 5 and -3. So let us add these two integers. So 5 plus -3 would be equal to 2. Now let us interchange the position of these integers. That is, we write -3 first and then we write 5. So -3 plus 5. So what is the result? So here also we get the same result. So therefore, what do we conclude? 5 plus minus 3 is the same thing as minus 3 plus 5. It is just that we are changing the order in which the integers are being placed. Now, so this was one example. Let us take another example. Let us take two integers, minus 2 and minus 16. So if you add minus 2 to minus 16, what do you get? You get minus 18. Now let us say if we change the position, that is minus 16 plus minus 2, what do you get? In this you get minus 18 again. So from here also you see that minus 2 plus minus 16 is the same thing as minus 16 plus minus 2. So basically what does this prove? This proves that if you have any two integers a and b, then a plus b is always equal to b plus a. So this picture also tries to tell the same thing. If this is a and this is b, then a plus b is the same as b plus a. So we say that addition of integers is commutative. This property is called commutative property. So for any two integers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. Now let us look at the commutative property for subtraction of integers. So for this again let us take example. So let us consider two integers 5 and minus 3. So if you subtract 5 minus minus 3, what is it? This becomes equal to 5 plus 3. Like subtracting a number means adding its additive inverse. That's what we have learned, right? So this is 8. Now let us say if we try to change the position of the integer. So this becomes minus 3 minus 5. So in this case what happens? So you see that the order of the digits have changed and therefore your calculation has also changed, because this time you are subtracting 5 from minus 3. So this would actually mean minus 3 plus minus 5. So you are basically adding these two numbers. So this would be equal to minus 8. So what do you observe? You observe that 5 minus minus 3 is not equal to minus 3 minus 5. That means the result changes the moment you change the order or change the position of the digits in case of subtraction. Now let us take another example. If you think that, okay, how can I rely on one example? So let's take another example. So minus 2 minus minus 16. So this is equal to minus 2 plus 16, which is equal to 14. Now let's reverse the position of the digits. So this becomes minus 16 minus minus 2, which is equal to minus 16 plus 2, which is equal to minus 14. So here again we see that minus 2 minus minus 16 is not equal to minus 16 minus minus 2. So now with these examples we can very clearly say that subtraction is not commutative. So for any two integers a and b, a minus b is never equal to b minus a. Talk about the third property, that is associative property. Now we all know what is associative property. So here again we play around with the order of the integers. Now let us take example. So first we will talk about addition. So in this case, let us consider three integers, 8, minus 2 and minus 3. So you can randomly pick up any three integers. Now here in this case, we see that if you add them in this order, 8 plus minus 2 plus minus 3. So this is one way in which you can add them. There is also another way, that is 8 plus minus 2 plus minus 3. So basically in this case you add the first two integers first and then you add the sum to the third integer. And in the second case you first add the second and third integer and then add the sum to the first integer. So let's see how the result varies. So 8 plus minus 2 would be 6 plus minus 3, which is equal to 3. And in this case you get 8 plus minus 5, and this is also equal to 3. So you see that both of these are the same. Let us take another example. So here again we take another set of three integers. Let's say 0, minus 3 and minus 16. So in the first case what we do, 0 plus minus 3 plus minus 16. And in the second case, we will do this way, 0 plus minus 3 plus minus 16. So in the first case, this would be minus 3 plus minus 16, which is equal to minus 19. And in this case, this would be 0 plus minus 19. So this will be equal to minus 19. So here also we see that both of these give same results. So therefore we can conclude that if we have three integers a, b and c, then a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. So whether we first find the sum of a and b and then add it to c, or we first find the sum of b and c and then add it to a, the result is going to be the same. So the order of the integers doesn't really matter much. So we say that addition is associative for any three integers a, b and c. A plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. Now, do you think that this associative property will hold true for subtraction of integers as well? Not too sure? Okay, let's try. So let us take examples of three integers, say 8, minus 2 and minus 3. So in this case, so there is one way which is 8 minus minus 2. We do this first and then subtract minus 3. So this is one thing that we can do. The other thing that we can do is 8 minus minus 2 minus minus 3. And let's compare the results. So here 8 minus minus 2 would be 10 minus minus 3. So this would be equal to 10 plus 3, which is equal to 13. And in this case, this would be 8 minus minus 2 plus 3. So this would be equal to 8 minus 1, which is equal to 7. So here we get the result as 7 and here the result is 13. So both of these are not equal and therefore we can say that a minus b minus c is not equal to a minus b minus c. So therefore associative property is true for addition but not for subtraction. So you can say that subtraction is not associative. Addition is associative but subtraction is not associative. So these are certain important things that you should remember. So now we talk about another important property called additive identity. So what is additive identity? It is a number which when added to any integer retains the identity of that integer. That means retains the value of that integer. So when you add this number to an integer, the integer remains the same. Normally what happens whenever you add 2 to some integer 13, the integer changes its value to 15. When you add 5 to minus 1, the integer changes its value to plus 4. So whenever you add some number, the integer changes its value. But there is a number which when added to an integer will retain its identity. Do you know what is that number? Nothing but 0. So 0 is called the additive identity. That is because you add any integer, add 0 to any integer, you get the same integer. So you add 15 plus 0, you get 15. You add 0 to minus 1, you get minus 1. Do you know why? Because when you add 0 to any number, let's say minus 13 plus 0, or let's say minus 1 plus 0. This is minus 1. Now what do you want to add to minus 1? Nothing. 0 is nothing. So you are not adding anything. So where are you? You are still at minus 1. You did not make any jump at all. So your result is minus 1. Now when we say that minus 13 plus 0 is equal to minus 13, what we indirectly mean is minus 13 plus 13 is equal to 0. Similarly here what we means is plus 15 minus 15 is equal to 0. Here we mean to say that minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So basically additive identity tells that for any integer a plus 0 is always equal to a. and that is why 0 is called the additive identity. And for any integer a, minus a is the additive inverse of a. Why is it called additive inverse? Because whenever minus a is added to a, the result is 0. So you can say that additive inverse of minus 13 is plus 13. Additive inverse of plus 13 is minus 13. Similarly, additive inverse of minus 1 is plus 1. Additive inverse of plus 1 is minus 1. And so on. So this is the concept of additive identity and additive inverse. I covered all the properties related to addition and subtraction of integers. Now, let us quickly look at some of the questions based on these properties of integers. Now, as we have learnt before also, that these properties basically help us to make our calculations simpler. So we will learn about that also a little later. Write a pair of negative integers whose difference gives 8. So that means you need two negative integers such that when you subtract them, you get 8. Now, let us quickly draw the number line. Why am I drawing this number line? Just to help you understand it better. Let's say this is 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, 8 and 9. Say 10. Now you have to pick any two integers. Let's say that for the first integer you can actually pick any integer that you want to. Let's say that I have picked minus 1. So let's say I know that one integer is minus 1. Now what should be the other negative integer such that the difference is 8? Now in order to have 8 difference, you actually need to make 8 jumps from minus 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Right? So where did you reach? You reach at minus 9. So therefore the other integer would be minus 9. Now let us subtract minus 1 minus 9. So this would be same as subtracting minus 9 from minus 1 would be same as adding the additive inverse of minus 9, which is 9. So minus 1 plus 9 would be plus 8. And this is what we wanted. So the pair of negative integers that we chose were minus 1 and minus 9. Now it is not necessary that this is the only possible answer. If you want to choose minus 3, you could have chosen minus 3 as one integer. In that case, you make 8 jumps from minus 3, and where do you reach? You reach at minus 11. So when you subtract these two, minus 3 minus minus 11, you get it as minus 3 plus 11, which is equal to 8. So minus 3 minus 11 could be another pair of negative integers whose difference is 8. So you can have infinite number of pair of negative integers whose difference would be 8. Question number 2. In a quiz, team A scored minus 40, 10, 0 and team B scored 10, 0, minus 40 in 3 successive rounds. So this is like the score of round 1, round 2, round 3. Similarly, round 1, round 2, round 3 for team B. Which team scored more? Now, if I ask you about the total score, first you need to find the total score of both team A and team B. So for team A, let us find the total score. So team A total score would be equal to minus 40 plus 10 plus 0. Similarly, for team B, the total score would be equal to 10 plus 0 plus minus 40. So when you add these, what do you get? So the total score here is minus 30 and the total score here is minus 30 again. Now just by looking at these, you can say that the score would be the same, because you see they are basically the same integers, just that their orders have changed. And we have seen that addition is commutative, addition is associative. So therefore it was quite evident that the sum would be the same, right? So from this we say that both scored the same. And we can also say that we can add integers in any order. That is what we have seen in the associative property of integer as well. Question number 3. Fill in the blanks to make the following statements true. -5 plus dash is equal to -8 plus dash. Now, try to remember the properties now. You add two numbers. The order of the numbers, even if you change, the sum remains the same. So here on the left hand side, you are given one integer, that is -5. On the right hand side, you are given one integer, that is -8. So can't we say that -5 plus -8 is equal to -8 plus -5? So this basically means A plus B is equal to B plus A, which is stated by the commutative property of addition for integers. Let's look at the second one. -53 plus dash is equal to -53. So you say the same number you get. So what is that integer which when added to any integer gives the same number? It retains the identity. Yes, I am talking about the additive identity. And which is the additive identity? It is nothing but 0. 17 plus dash is equal to 0. Now, which is that number which when added to a number always gives 0? That is nothing but additive inverse. And how do we find additive inverse? It is just the negative of the same number. So 17 plus -17 will give you 0. 13 plus -12 plus dash is equal to dash plus -12 plus 7. So here we have involvement of three integers. So let's recall the associative property which says that A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. Now looking at this, can you say that 13 is the A here, -12 is the B here, and what is C? C is not given here. And in this case, what is C? C is nothing but -7. So this would be -7 and this would be 13. And with this equation satisfies this associative property. Now, based on the same associative property, we can do the last one as well. -4 plus dash plus -3. So here B is missing, is equal to A plus B is given here. So this is our B. So this would be 15. And what is this? This is our A. So this would be -4. And this is our C. So this would be -3. So basically we have filled all of these, you making use of the different properties of integers.
What do you say? Was that useful? Practice few more questions to gain more clarity on this topic. In the next video, we are going to learn about multiplication of integers. So be with us.